Hello and welcome to the Writecome.com podcast, where we help you to make money from your words. Each episode will be sharing tips, tricks, and strategies you can use to make more money from your writing, publishing, and marketing to your fans and audience. Let's get started with your host, Barry J. McDonald.
Hi, this is Barry here, and you are very, very welcome to this podcast episode from Writecome.com. Now, let me ask you, what would the future you say? Now, what do I mean by that? Well, last night I was on a webinar by the great Dan Meredith, he of Coffee with Dan fame over on Facebook, and Dan had provided us with a free seminar last night showing us how to come up with content for all our platforms, be that social media, be it emails or blog posts or whatever. But before he actually got into the topic of content creation, Dan was more or less saying a lot of the things that I have said in the past. For you to get anywhere, you need to be consistent. You need to show up regularly. You need to kind of get a lot of content out there before some people will find you. Sometimes you might be maybe a year or two down the road of content creation before somebody finds you in their feed or maybe finds you in a Google search or whatever. So as he was saying, you need to show up consistently to do that. Now, Dan had kind of taken us behind the scenes of when he was starting off on Facebook, and having to put content out for a long time before anybody even knew what he was doing, and he was putting it out on a daily basis. He was writing stories and doing memes and all that, and he was trying to get as much content there. But as Dan said, if you want consistent income, you need to create content consistently. So Dan was saying, like most of us, when you're actually doing something that requires you to turn up consistently, not just in content creation, but it could be example, maybe going to the gym regularly, or it could be doing some things that we don't normally like to do. If we want to get ahead, if we want to lose weight, if we want to get good at a talent or a skill or whatever, it does mean showing up consistently. And there will be days when, you'll be really, really motivated to do it. And there's going to be other days where you're going to be too tired, you're going to be grumpy, you just don't want to do it. And it's easy on those days to kind of skip it for the day. It won't really matter. Nobody really notice. But as Dan says, I don't know whether this is his motto in his mind, but from him saying it last night, it actually gave me a little bit of a kick in the pants when I did consider. And he said, what I'm doing right now isn't for me, it's for the future version of me. So would the future version of me be happy with what I am doing right now? So I just want you to ponder on that for a moment. What you are doing now, whatever work you're doing, or maybe it's a lack of work, maybe you're only showing up, the odd day, sending the odd email out, or maybe showing up on Facebook the odd day, or doing the odd Facebook post or blog post or whatever, podcast episode or whatever. If you are showing up inconsistently, how is that going to affect you in the future? If you had a chance maybe to look back, 5 years from where you are right now, look back at you 5 years ago, would you be impressed with the type of person was back then 5 years ago? Are you grateful right now maybe that where you are right now is because of the type of person you became 5 years ago, that you showed up regularly, you took risks doing something maybe you didn't think you were able to do, or maybe you broke off and went into something you never ever tried before and you stuck with it until you kind of got better at it, maybe writing or maybe publishing or whatever it was. Maybe you got into something that, you didn't think you were able to do, talent to do, but you said, what the hell, let's give it a go and see if I can do it. And now 5 years later, you probably are in the position you are in now because you took those risks, you took the actions, and you maybe set off on a different path than what you were originally. Or maybe you're not happy where you are right now. Maybe if you could get a hold of the younger self of you 5 years ago or 10 years ago for now, how do you feel about that type of person? Would you want to grab them by the scruff of the collar and shake them and just tell them, wake up, stop watching TV so much, or stop gaming so much, or stop kind of procrastinating and just get your arse in gear and actually start creating the content, or start building that business, or become a fiction writer, or become a podcaster, or create that YouTube channel back then when you should have you're supposed to have done it, but you kept kicking that can down the line and didn't take action on that. So I want to give you that some thought today. As Dan said, there's a lot of days when he doesn't want to create content for his Facebook page. There is some days he isn't motivated, but he said that he does force himself to do what he needs to do that day because he is looking at himself my teeth's loose, his future self, which is going to look back at him and be so grateful that he did show up as regularly as he did, be so grateful that he did create as much content as he has, and taking whatever risks he has and tried out different things that he needed to do to get to that that future point. So give that some thought today. If you are finding maybe that you are procrastinating, if you are just kind of just chugging along, just kind of taking the easiest route ever, or maybe you just spend too much time watching TV, too much time gaming, or living in this kind of maybe procrastination, or maybe having a lack of belief or whatever in yourself. How would the future you be if you continue along as you are? Or, maybe you could use that future you as a kind of motivation to actually get you to take action. That would the future you be proud of what you're doing right now, and, look through your life through that lens. It could be maybe some way of motivating yourself if you do find maybe that you've taken your foot off the pedal, if you are not concentrating as much in your business, or maybe you're just not taking the risks that you need to do, or stretching yourself or whatever. Consider what the future you would look like if you continue the way you are, and hopefully that will, like Dan says, maybe convince you to show up regularly, to do, to create content on a regular basis, or take extra risks in your business or whatever by showing up there. So give that some thought today. Maybe that may be your thought for the weekend. So as always, if you'd like to reach out to me, if you'd like me to cover anything in this podcast, you're very, very welcome to reach out to barryjmcdonald@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to know what I am up to right now, if you head over to Writecom, WRITECOME.com, you'll find a lot of content on the blog. And at the moment, we have a great free report, which is called Words to Wealth. And in it, I'm going to show you 10 different ways you can make money from your writing. So if the future version of you would like to be, a self-published author, or maybe have a blog, or maybe have something to do with writing, if that's something you'd like to try out, you're very welcome to head over to Writecom, download the free report, and give it a look over, and let me know how you get on with it. So as always, thanks for sharing your time again today. Take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you'd like more from the Writecom.com podcast, be sure to subscribe now for more tips, tricks, and ideas you can use to make more money from your words. See you in the next episode.